Evening, everyone. I'd like to reconvene the Thursday, January 9th, 2025 meeting of the Lake Forest Board of Education. We'll begin this evening. If you would please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, thanks to those of you who have joined in person as well as those who have joined online. Just a reminder that we are streaming tonight's meeting across the internet. And we will post that recording as well as the minutes once they are reviewed. Start tonight with roll call of board members. Dr. Wyatt.
Present.
Mrs. McCloskey.
Here.
Mr. Rao.
Here.
Vice President Starkey.
Here.
And Earl Dempsey is president, serving as chair, is here as well. All four board members present. Thank you all for being here. Move on to 2.4, approval of agenda, Mrs. Starkey.
Make a motion, we approve resolution 2.4, approval of agenda as presented.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Section 2.5, approval of minutes. I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the December 12th, 2024 board meeting.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0. We're up to 2.7, citizens participation, opportunity for members of the public to address the board. We open up public comment at the beginning of each meeting. If anyone had wished to speak, we did ask them to sign up at the front desk and present that to the superintendent's office. We do not have anyone signed up this evening, so we will open public comment again in 2 weeks at our next board meeting. With that, we're up to section 3 reports, 3.1 superintendent report. Dr. Lucas.
Thank you, President Dempsey. Good evening, Spartan family. Before we get to the elephant in the room, the weather, I'll start off with some congratulations and celebrations. To that end, we had 4 Spartans for Life, recently recognized by the Delaware State News as newsmakers for 2024. The group was led by coach and athletic director Fred Johnson from Lake Forest High School, who literally saved one of our students' lives during a cardiac incident last year. Also on the list were alumni Quade Gannon, Joanne Kenton, Cheryl Epps. Congratulations to them. Check out the December 29th article on newsmakers for the rest of the story. Now back to the weather. As everyone knows, we've yet to get back to school following the winter break because of Winter Storm Blair, which hit us pretty hard Monday. Mr. Weller and I toured the district this afternoon, and unfortunately, many of the secondary roads are still under significant snow or ice and have not been able to recover due to the high winds. Consequently, as everyone probably knows, I've canceled school for tomorrow with the additional threat of more snow coming late Friday night into Saturday. We've also decided to postpone or reschedule some weekend activities that we had scheduled. Hopefully we'll be able to get everything cleaned up Saturday and Sunday and back to business on time Monday morning. I'd like to really thank and recognize Mr. Starr, who's here with us tonight, and the custodial staff for the great work that they have done. For anyone who's had to shovel a driveway this week, imagine having to clear the parking lots and sidewalks for 7 schools and offices. It's cold, backbreaking work, and our custodians do it without complaint. So thanks to them, and let's hope the snow management work will soon be over. As always, I'd like to give out a few calendar reminders in my report. Even though we will have missed a full week of school after tomorrow, the schedule does not slow down. We'll be out of school in honor of the late Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on Monday, January 20th. And the end of the marking period for second marking period is right around the corner, Friday, January 24th. So not a lot of time to get back to work. School is scheduled to be closed on January 27th for teacher in service, and second marking period report cards will be available on the Home Access Center on January 31st. So please check the district calendar to stay up to date on what's happening. Don't forget to follow us on social media. That's all I have. I thank you, and I yield the floor back to President Dempsey and the board for any questions or discussion.
Thank you, Dr. Lucas. Any questions or discussion for Dr. Lucas and superintendent report? So I'll just echo the thanks to Mr. Starr and staff as well. Dr. Lucas and administration, I know it's not an easy decision with canceling school. And I'm sure there's folks out there who live on a major road and take nothing but major roads to get to and from where they go. However, that is not indicative of what the rest of the district looks like. So I do applaud the decision this week, even though we'd love to have kids in school, just not the safest thing to do. So thank you.
Thank you.
With that, we're up to section 4, unfinished business, 4.1, board policies, second reading. Mrs. Starkey.
Make a motion, we approve, board policy second reading as modified during discussion.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. We will go through each of these policies again, probably briefly. Again, this is the second time in a month or more that we are looking at these. We'll start this evening with CGD, state and federal programs. Any discussion on this policy? Seeing none, we'll move to, excuse me, DJ, purchasing. Any discussion on this policy? Seeing none, move on to GBAA, sexual discrimination and harassment. Any discussion on this policy? With none, we will move on to JIB, student involvement in decision-making. Any discussion on this policy? Seeing none, move on to JICE, student publications. Any discussion on this policy? With none, we'll move on to JLG, homeless students. Any discussion on JLG? And finally, we are up to KLC, relations with social service organizations. This is a recommendation to delete the policy from the manual. Any discussion on that change? All right, seeing none, that ends our individual review. We'll revert back to having a motion properly seconded on the floor. Any questions or further discussion? Seeing none, move to a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0. To section 7 amendments, Mrs. Starkey.
Make a motion, we approve resolution 7.1 as written.
Second.
The motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Section 8 personnel resignations. I make a motion, we approve resolution 8.1 as written.
Second.
The motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Section 11 personnel transfers. I make a motion, we approve resolution 11.1 and 11.8 as written.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Questions or discussion on that motion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Section 13 personnel offers of employment. I make a motion, we approve resolution 13.1 through 13.3 as written.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on that motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Section 15 personnel leaves of absence. I make a motion, we approve resolution 15.1 through 15.5 as written.
Second.
The motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
Section 21 other business. I make a motion, we approve resolution 21.1 school choice as presented.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0.
And section 22 other business field trips. I make a motion, we approve resolution 22.1 as written.
Second.
A motion on the floor properly seconded. Any questions or discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mrs. Starkey. Thank you, Mr. Rao. Section 25, board report discussion items. 25.1 Delaware School Board Association. That would be Mrs. McCloskey.
They rescheduled because of the weather. They're supposed to be this week.
All right, thank you. Any discussion, questions for Ms. McCloskey? Moving on to, thank you, Ms. McCloskey, to 25.2 Legislative Committee. Dr. Wyatt.
We haven't met yet. Our next meeting is February 5th.
Great, thank you. Any questions or discussion for Dr. Wyatt? All right, thank you, Dr. Wyatt. 25.3, good of the order, opportunity for members of the board to discuss or bring up other items not previously covered on the agenda. The floor is open. Great, I do have one. It is that time of year that we're going to start thinking about school board elections. Annual school board elections will be upcoming. We have one seat in the district that will be scheduled for an election. Terms for that seat now consist of a 4-year commitment. The filing deadline, 2 important dates. Filing deadline is always the first Friday of March, which this year would be Friday, March 7th. And then that will set up for elections, which are always the second Tuesday of May, which this year will be Tuesday, May 13th. I do encourage anyone within the community that has the desire, passion, and wherewithal to serve to consider filing as a candidate for board position. Arguably, there's no greater way to have local community impact. With that, I do not believe we have a need for executive session.
No, sir.
Mr. Mormon, all right. So with that, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. A motion on the floor properly seconded. I should say our next meeting will be in 2 weeks, Thursday, January 23rd, right back here in the district office. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you all. Stay warm, stay safe.